and the fish would turn around and charge the sharks. Sharks would leave. They didn't want anything to do with it.
Welcome back to a classic. I'm your host, Dan Muntz, and today we have the first one for the Spearos. So my guest has a wild story to tell from the Coral Sea where he speared an 81-kilo dogtooth tuna. Harry Weston, welcome, mate.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So give us a bit of background on yourself, mate, and when you originally found spearfishing.
So I found spearfishing about 10 or 11 years ago. I was always into fishing, loved it. Dad used to bring me down to the beach to go surfing, and I would just put a mask on and go for a swim instead, and got addicted straight away. Dad was a bit disappointed, never got into the surfing side of it, but at least I was down at the beach with him.
So you started 10 or 11 years ago, and it just gradually, every chance you got, you went out and just, that was what you did. No surfing,
Exactly.
No fishing. It was all spearing.
Yeah, all spearing, not really much surfing, not much fishing. I gradually, throughout high school, I was doing it once or twice a week, as often as possible, and then graduated high school, went to work out on a commercial diving boat, dove 10 hours a day for 2 weeks straight, every 6 months of the year. So spent a lot of time in the water, getting used to it. Loved it, couldn't do anything better.
That on a lobster boat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about that.
Okay, so it was, we leave out of Cooktown, which is northern Queensland, and steam all the way up to Cape York to catch these crayfish. And it's all done by hand on a hooker. So we just got an air hose going up to the boat, dive down. Each one is individually grabbed. So we're in the water, we're there, we're in front of them. There's no pots or anything used. We're in the most remote part of Australia. So the fish life there is incredible. I see fish of a lifetime every single day. I get to dive with them. I do a lot of spearing up there. We eat a lot of fish. It's great fun.
Right. So you go down not on scuba. You got a hose to the surface, an air hose,
Yeah.
and just 10 hours a day, just diving.
So just up and down, up and down. I could do 300 dives in a day if I wanted to.
Whoa.
I've got a lot of freedom. Just I work as hard as I want to work. And then I get paid per kilo. So if I work hard, I get paid more. If I want to go spearing for the day, I've got the opportunity to do that as well.
So what type of depths are you looking at diving?
So we can dive to 30 meters. However, I don't really like to go past 23 meters. I find it takes too long to get to the surface. We've got to do the same ascents if we're on scuba diving. So you spend too much time there. So I generally do between 10 to 12 meters, and 20 meters would be my average depth. The crayfish, the deeper you go, the slower the crayfish are and the easier they are to grab. They sit out of the holes more. So I prefer to go where they're easier to catch rather than going up in the shallows where they're a bit faster.
Yep. What's your record for a day?
185 kilos.
Whoa.
So it's about 150 crayfish.
Whoa.
I was pretty happy with that one.
So when you're out there, are you on a boat with other guys, obviously? Like what's the crew like?
Yeah, so it's a 21-meter boat that we're on, and there's 18 of us on the boat. The boat runs 8 dories, which all have one diver and one dory driver that just follows us around. And then there's a cook and a skipper. So that's the 18 of us on the boat.
Right. And any bad experience out there? Like you got big sharks. What do you got going?
We don't really deal with the sharks too often. I was really surprised about that. They don't seem to like the bubbles. They'll follow around. There's commercial trout fishermen out there, and the sharks will follow those guys around. But they don't really even look at us. I got done on the elbow there by a wobbegong. Just came out,
Okay.
grabbed onto my arm, and just its eyes were here. It had eye contact with me while I had my arm in its mouth. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But that was just a couple little puncture wounds. That was fine.
Yep.
We've had some propeller injuries just from guys getting hit by the prop, and they can be pretty bad. But it is good experience learning how to deal with first aid situations. Definitely makes me better going out recreational spearing now because I'm a lot safer. People comment on it all the time about don't really like to take risks, but I've seen stuff that can go wrong before.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to the spearing a bit. So do you do any kind of training, like working on that breath hold or keeping your skills up in the water?
Not really, honestly. I found after working on the boat, I found my fitness was really good, but my breath hold had gone down because I was on air the whole time. And then just since then, I moved up to Townsville from Sydney. So we do a lot more deep diving up there. And I find that that's really helped my breath hold. but I really don't do any training. I should. I really should. I want to get into it, but it's just not something I've ever done.
For this particular fish, which we will get into, like to confidently go after it, what kind of breath hold are you looking at?
Like a minute 30 minute. I think I was doing about minute 20 dives. So underwater, yeah. So down to 20 meters for a minute 20, about what I was doing. But that fish swam up to 10 meters. You really don't, they're very confident. You can go deep, and there are a lot more down there, but if you've got the right stuff going on, they will come up and have a look at you.
Well, let's get into this story a bit. So I'm going to let you tell it, but in a nutshell, you went to the Coral Sea with the Coral Sea Cowboys and speared the
Yep.
fish of a lifetime. So first off, just tell me a bit about the Coral Sea and why you're making an annual trip.
So the Coral Sea is one of the most amazing places on Earth. You go out there, we were 600 kilometers from land off Gladstone. There's this little reef. The next reef after it is New Caledonia waters, so we couldn't go there. So this is as far out as you can go in Australian waters. And it's just pristine blue water, 60-meter visibility. It's southern Great Barrier Reef, so the water is still cool. And so the coral is all alive. There are fish like you've never seen before. Swim around and there's 1 meter 50 trout everywhere. It's bait fish. Shooting job fish is like just your average fish around there. They swim up to you and they're massive. It's one of the most incredible places around.
Right? And always with the Coral Sea Cowboys. And why do you go with them?
So the Coral Sea Cowboys they do it out of my club in Sydney, the club that I used to be a part of that taught me how to spear. And they go up there every year. So I go up to catch up with my mates who I haven't seen because I'm living up in Queensland. So I catch up with them. But they are the only ones that go out to this reef. The charter that they run it off does 7-day charters. And Bretto, the guy that organizes it, has booked out 10 days instead of the 7 days like normal for the next. I think he's booked it out till 2028 or something.
Whoa.
So he picks the time of the year that we want, books it out as far in advance as possible, and that's us set.
So, like you said, you're making an annual trip, but this one you're actually going to miss. So, what happened there, and how'd you make it happen?
So, because I started university, I didn't have the opportunity to go this year, and I was really bummed out because it's something I'd been looking forward to doing all year, and I wrote it off that it wasn't going to happen. And they were leaving on Saturday, and on Tuesday, Bretto called me up, woke me up, and I was talking to him, and he was asking me again if I could come, and I was like, mate, I can't do it. I've got my exam on, I think it was the 7th. I've got my exam, and I heard him light up, and he goes, "We get back the 6th." I go, "Oh well, I finished university on the 27th," and he goes, "Perfect. We get back on this. We leave on the 28th." It was one day either way, and as soon as he said that, I realized I kind of had to do it. I didn't have any other option. I had to try and make it work.
So, basically, the Coral Sea is in the middle of nowhere. So, take me through that journey. So, you got the last minute call on Tuesday, you made it work. Then, what do you
Yep.
do?
So my car was broken, so I took a train down to Gladstone, which was 12 hours, slept at the train station until they could pick me up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Jumped on the boat. There was a cyclone out where we were. So we got on the boat and we steamed straight out towards the cyclone, not actually into it, but the weather was really rough, 40-knot winds, 3 or 4 meter seas. And we ended up having to stop in at the Swains, which is kind of the start of the Coral Sea. Stopped in there for a day just because it's more protected, caught a whole load of reefies. Everyone was really happy. And then continued the steam out to Wreck Reef, it's called. And it was, by the time we got out there, the cyclone had passed. Best thing about a cyclone, afterwards, it's a glass out. It pulls all the weather away and you get a big high pressure system that comes through. So it was glass out in the middle of nowhere. There was like 8-foot surf, so it was big barreling waves behind us the whole time. But it was really cool to get out there. Dead, like clear skies. The birds were really active. All the fish were really active because they couldn't eat in the last week. So
Right.
they were all just alive trying to catch fish.
What size boat are you out there?
I think it was a 25-meter boat. So it's a 25-meter boat. There's 12 of us. There was 12 of us on the charter, and then there was 4 crew that came out with us.
And so out there, are there islands? Like where are you anchoring up?
So where we anchored up is just behind a tiny little bit of reef. It's the only bit of protection out there. There's a little sand cay on there, covered in birds, but that's it. It's just one bit of reef that you can tuck in behind in this little lagoon.
And how long does it actually take you to get out there?
Ooh, how long did it take? It was, I think, about 36 hours. No, yeah, it was 36 hours straight to get out there.
You're a
Yeah,
long way
we're
out.
middle of nowhere.
So you get out there. You mentioned barreling waves. Does anyone surf?
No, not really, because it comes up from so deep. So the waves tip over so quick and they move very fast. I'm not much of a surfer, but all the guys were saying they wish they could surf them, but they probably wouldn't be able to. And it's breaking on dry, hard reef.
There's some madmen out there who I'm sure would give it a go at some point.
Yeah.
But so you get out there. Your whole goal is spearfishing. Are you fishing as well? You're just spearfishing.
We do a bit of fishing, yeah.
Yep.
Had a couple of afternoons off. We went trolling for yellowfin and wahoo, tried to catch a marlin.
So take me through just a standard day on the Coral Sea.
Standard day, we get up about 7 o'clock. We all get in the dories. They run these 4.5 meter tinnies off the back of them. 4 people jump in them, go out spearing all morning, come back at midday, unload whatever we call it in the morning. It all gets filleted, bag it up, put it in the freezer, have lunch, go back out again, spear all arvo, come back in at 5 o'clock, bag up all the fish, eat dinner, straight to bed because we're exhausted.
So the day of the doggie. Let's go. What happened?
Day of the doggy. So that was second day of the trip. We decided let's have an early one this morning. I think we all got up at about 4 a.m. Started as early as we possibly could. Got out there, started drifting an edge that comes from 100 meters up to 20 meters, and it was quiet. There was nothing going on. We drifted for about 2 hours. My mate shot his first doggy. It was about 30 kilos. He was stoked with that. And then after 2 or 3 hours of drifting, I went, all right, let's move. This is not working. We'd been burrowing up. Nothing was coming in. Moved a couple of miles down the reef, jumped in, started burrowing up. And what I thought was a wahoo came up to the flasher. My mate had been trying to get a wahoo for so long. I saw him dive down on it, get right up close to it because he wasn't getting close enough, and pull the trigger on about a 4 meter sailfish,
Oh,
which we got towed around by that for a while. That thing had been speared by another fish, so it was really injured. And rather than trying to run away, it decided to try and kill us. So we got video of it trying to take our heads off on the surfers. We're kicking it away. The sharks were looking at it, did not want anything to do with it.
yeah.
It was too aggressive for them. Landed that fish. We were stoked. It was like, couldn't get any better, we thought. Kept drifting. I saw on one of the dives, I saw about a 50-kilo doggy, didn't come in, told all the guys, did a breathe up. We drifted off the end of the reef. And as soon as we got off the end of the reef into the deep water, all these doggies just came up from the depths. We had our flashes at about 10 meters and they were coming up and looking at the flashes, looking at us. One of the guys shot about a 35-kilo one, pulled that. We were all pulling that in because you got to get it away from the sharks. The sharks wanted to eat it. Got it up to the boat. As we're doing this, I can see 80-kilo doggies just looking at it, looking at us. All I want to do is shoot one of them, but I've got to land this fish. As soon as he got it in his hand, I took a dive on the first doggy that came in. It was probably about 75, 80 kilos. Did a really bad shot in the tail. It took off up towards the surface. My other mate shot it in the tail as well. As soon as he hit it, it turned down. Each of us had two 30-liter floats, and it pulled 4 of them down like nothing, just straight down towards the bottom before the spears pulled out, thankfully, because I do not think we would have landed that fish otherwise. Got back up in the boat. We were all amazed, didn't know what was going on. I straightened out my spear because I didn't bring another spear and it was a bit bent. Jumped back in the water to do that same little drift again. One of the guys, all the doggies come up. One of the guys shoots like a 30-kilo one straight away. And like I can see 80-kilo ones down there, even bigger ones as well. I decided I'm going to let them deal with that. I'm going to try and get one of these big ones. Thankfully, that fish pulled out. As soon as it took a run, for some reason, the shaft came back out. So good thing I didn't waste the time on that. This big doggy came up to look at me on the surface. I took a dive and followed it down. I think I ended up going to about 18 meters, just following the fish down, swimming through the sharks. And it was swimming away and then just turned around and came straight back up to me. They're just the most confident animals. So it came up and had a look at me. I put the perfect shot in through the back of the skull, and I saw that the spear didn't go the whole way through. And so I was just on the bottom, held onto the float line as it was running out of my hands, just waiting for the spear to come back out so I could reload quickly and take another shot. But I'm holding my hand there. This fish is going. There's no stopping it. I realize, okay, maybe the spear isn't going to pull out. I look up, and one of my friends is holding onto the float line, getting dragged through the water. He's probably at about 10 meters at this stage. And I'm on the bottom waiting to meet him. Two floats are going down behind him. So this fish is running and it's got a serious amount of weight on it. And it was just, after that, it was just a tug of war for the whole time. I was so nervous the floppers hadn't engaged. One of my mates had dropped his gun, so we didn't have another gun to give a second shot with, and the other one was unloaded. So I was like, I'm just going to have to be confident in this shaft. We're pulling it up, and for some reason, the sharks here, they were not very aggressive. They were looking at the fish, but they were not confident enough to take it, and the fish would turn around and charge the sharks. Sharks would leave. They didn't want anything to do with it. So I was really lucky in that sense. Eventually, three of us pulling all of our might got the thing up to the surface. One spear, dispatched it, and just cheering. We were so happy.
Yeah, 80 kilos. So, what was the fight time when you speared it? How long are you looking at before you get it back to the boat?
I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes. It was a long fight. Yeah. Shouldn't have lasted that long. The sharks should have eaten it before that. But as I said, the sharks here were not, I don't think they knew what to do with spearos because no one really goes out there spearing. I don't know if any charter's been out there since before COVID. So, like, they really were not sure what to do with us.
So, what type of sharks are you looking at there?
So it's mostly silky whalers and fringed whalers, which they get to about 8 foot. So they're pretty decent sharks, but they're not massive. And then there was a few tiger sharks getting around. We didn't dive with any of them, but they were just sitting behind the back of the boat, just eating all of the frames that got thrown into the water. They were
Yeah.
big sharks.
Yeah. So, and like you said, with the 30, 40 kilo ones as well, you had to get them away. So, when you're bringing them back into yourself, is that the sharks just disappear?
Yeah. So the sharks, they'll come in and have a look and they try to get the fish, but they know that as soon as we have it in our hands, it's our fish. And sharks are really timid. People don't realize, but they don't want to put themselves in danger. So if you have the fish in your hands, they're not going to try and take it off you. If you swim at the sharks, they're going to get out of your way because they don't know what's going on. They don't have anything that ever charges them. So they get really worried. So, and all you got to do is keep an eye on sharks. Most people are really worried, but as long as you have an eye on it and know where it is, it's not going to do anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Most,
Most of the time. Yeah.
yeah,
It's that one time it'll get you.
exactly. When you see enough of them.
Yeah. So, you mentioned to breathe up earlier. Walk me through that.
So my breathe up, I don't, I don't know if this is the correct way of doing it, but this is just what I've found has gotten me the best, which is just I run minimal weights, especially when doing that deep diving, so you can stay on the surface, be really floaty. So I'm lying on the surface, face down, not moving as much as possible, and it's just big breath in, really slow exhale, as slow as you can go. And I'll do that 6 or 7 times. So it might be 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes of me breathing up. Just big inhale, really slow exhale. And then right at the end, I'll crush my lungs in, get out all the air, one big breath in, one big breath out, one big breath in. And then you kind of take a breath in, you push your chest out, and you can take a bit more of a breath in. You fold your shoulders in, you can take a bit more of a breath in, and then you take that dive.
Okay. And does that do you for one dive? Are you doing that every single time you're diving?
Every single time I'm diving. So I've got my dive watch here. And so when I come up from the dive, I look at how deep I've gone and how long I was down there for. And generally, I'll triple the amount of time I was down there for. And that'll be my surface time. I've got to spend that on the surface, just not moving, not diving, trying to get all the CO2 out of my blood. And then once that's up, I'll start doing my breathe up, get ready for the next dive, and then go. It's all about just getting your heart rate as low as possible before you dive.
So when you're doing that breathe up out there, because there's so many fish, are you waiting for that right fish to go, or are you just going and then seeing what you hit down there?
Yeah, so quite often you'll be drifting an edge. So if you see something coming up, you'll breathe up to get ready to try and take a dive on it. Or if you're relaxed enough on the surface and a fish comes in, you can quite often just do maybe 3 of those long breaths and then take a dive and you can get down to the fish. But a lot of the time, the dogtooth tuna will be down deep. So you've got to get that longer breath hold to get down there. And then the wahoo that come in, they're all right up on the surface. So you can just take a little duck dive and they're super curious. They'll just come straight into you.
When you're diving down, so you've dived down to this doggy, are you purely relying on the feel of your lungs and maybe sight to the surface, or are you using some kind of tech, or it's just purely feel?
It's purely feel. I know I have had a shallow water blackout 4 years ago.
Right.
And so my body is pretty conservative now. I don't really like to push it. So I know pretty well where my body can get to, and I don't go anywhere near that. So I'd be about a minute would be before I start to come to the surface.
Yeah. Okay. So it's in the boat. Photos all round. What's the best way to eat a big doggy like that?
So we did poke. We had one of the guys has some poke sachets that he got from Hawaii. And so the next day, you've got to leave fish like that. When you're eating a fish for sashimi, you have to leave it for 24 hours. There's no point trying to eat it before those 24 hours are up because the fish is still in rigor mortis and it's quite chewy. So we left it in the fridge for 24 hours, did a big block of poke, a big block of doggy about that big, and it served 12 of us a good round of poke. And it's just fish and seasoning, none of the rice, none of the vegetables, just the good stuff.
Yeah, how good's that? So when you're putting it in the fridge, you're just leaving the whole fish, stuff it straight in the fridge.
No, so we filleted it because it takes too long for the cold, unless it's in like an ice esky. It takes too long for the cold to get in. So we got back to the boat, took some underwater photos, got back, and I was dead. I was so exhausted after that. It was only midday, so we decided let's deal with the fish and then go for a line fish in the afternoon. Not going back out spearing. So we got back, the deckies filleted up the fish. We put it into the fridge to cool down as quickly as possible. Had a couple of beers. The cook brought out lunch, which we had missed because we'd spent all this time taking photos. And he brought out a massive bowl of prawns and a massive bowl of Balmain bugs. So we just sat down, just eating prawns and bugs for a good hour, hour and a half. Dealt with all the fish. It took us hours to bag up all the fish. Ended up just staying on the boat for the rest of the day, having a chill afternoon.
When you get all these fish, you take them back home?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
So I sent a whole load of fish back down to Sydney for Christmas. The guy, Bretto, organizes a freezer truck that brings all of the fish down to Sydney. So anything you want to bring back, you just put it on the truck and it arrives there frozen. So I put fish for Christmas, got yellowfin, wahoo, and doggy. Sent that on the truck. I couldn't bring any back up to Townsville because I had to get on a flight. Virgin doesn't let you take fish on a flight for some reason. Jetstar's fine. Put in your checked baggage, doesn't matter. So sent that home. I think we ended up getting just over a ton of fillets between 12 of us.
Wow.
So there was a lot. And it was mostly wahoo, yellowfin tuna, and doggy.
Yeah, and good healthy fish too.
Yeah, all the best stuff.
Yep. So is that the best fish? All these years you've been going there, that's the number one fish that's been caught?
Doggies. It's all after doggies.
Yeah,
They
that's
are
the biggest one?
Yeah, that's the biggest one. Yeah, it is. There's been every year there's a few of them seen, a few of them people put shots into, but I've never seen one landed.
Right.
They just destroy your gear. They'll snap everything. They'll get eaten by sharks. They'll get off the spear. They are the hardest fish to land. I got so lucky with that one. I shouldn't have landed it. Floppers didn't even engage. My next, I've shot one doggy before that. It was 5 kilos. There was a yellowfin tuna that was 5 kilos in its stomach. That's how much of an upgrade this was.
Yeah. There's a guy actually you should check out, Jagger Fiji. His name is. I'll send it to you after.
Yeah.
And the fish, like I can't even explain the fish he catches on spear, like giant wahoo, you wouldn't believe, giant doggy,
Really?
everything. I'll send it to you because you could probably get some insight into the gear he's using or something.
Yeah.
Because he's getting them all the time in Fiji.
Oh, that'd be a cool place to go. A giant wahoo is the next thing on my list. I want to shoot. I've shot a couple of wahoo in the low 20s. I want to get one up in the 30s. That's my dream.
I'll send you one when I get off this. It is ridiculous. I'll
Really?
put it on this clip on YouTube that I do, but You won't believe it. And
Yeah.
yeah, him and another guy, Kokomo Island, I think he does it out of. He's like the charter guy there. And yeah, he gets some insane stuff. I'll send it to you. It's next level ridiculous. Um, but yeah, I got to ask you as well, like, what's with the budgie smugglers, the colorful ones you got on there?
So we get Bretto makes up custom budgies every year for the trip. He makes shirts, budgies, hats, and beer coolers. So just got to rock the budgies. I think he's got last year was bright pink ones. This year was green and gold ones. So many fish. I just put the budgies over the wetsuit just as a joke.
Yeah.
Got to support the Coral Sea Cowboys.
Yeah, it's good. Well, and mentioning that, like the Coral Sea Cowboys, are they a proper charter or is this like a group of mates sort of trip?
So anyone can get on the charter,
Right.
but they hire out a boat and just fill up the boat with however many people want to come. I think they can do up to 20, but normally it's 20 people. This one only had 12 because we couldn't fill the spots. And then as soon as we got back and the photos were put up, because it was the most insane trip, all the spots got filled for next year straight away. People saw it like, we do not want to miss out on that again. And I think he might be running a second one next year as well, just because it's been so popular. So there'll be posts. There's always posts put up on Facebook or Instagram. If you look up the Coral Sea Cowboys, and jump on there before it gets taken away because it's very popular.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you're going back next year.
Hopefully, it depends with uni because they're leaving the day after my uni finishes again, but they're coming back 2 days into my exam period. So I'm not, which is the same as it was this year. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it if my exams will be in those first 2 days.
Well, fingers crossed for you, mate. But
I hope so.
look, man, I really appreciate your time coming on telling that story because it's just the pictures. I'll put them on. They're wild. It's a monster. But we may have to make this an annual thing where when you get back, you tell me a couple more stories.
Oh, if I'm out there, hopefully I have to get one of the other boys to come out.
Yeah, definitely, man. Anytime. But I'll put your Instagram. I'll put Coral Sea Cowboys Instagram in the show notes. So definitely check them out. Like there's stuff, not many people go out there, so it's pretty unique. And it's get on them before they book out. But man, like thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And yeah, we'll definitely do this again soon.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully I shoot something bigger.
Hey, fingers crossed.
Big yellowfin. That'll be the dream.
That's the plan.
Yeah, I'd love to. I really want to keep going with the doggies, but I feel like I can't really top it. I got lucky. I can't
Yeah,
really top that one. So I think the next fish I'm going to target is going to be a big yellowfin.
big yellowfin. All
Big
right, we'll
yellow.
see if you can do it within the next year.
Or maybe. We'll see.
Oh, Harry, good on you, mate. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.